All right. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Kate with Kate's Britless Life. Let's get into this. Another signs and symbols. I put these guys out at 5 a.m. every day. So we shall see what we've got. We'll call out zodiacs and whatever else we see as we go. We start with the Six of Earth. So Six of Pentacles. We've got intellect coming out sideways, and we've got Aries. Okay, so first off, we've got a dynamic between the divine masculine and divine feminine. We may have somebody that is trying to like a gear shift or something. If somebody's got a manual transmission vehicle, that could be their shifter. This could also be somebody who's got like a plasma ball or a stress relieving ball. We have almost like a duo who's kind of sitting there like almost on a lunch break or something in a restaurant or bar with very colorful like menu posted on the wall. But this is about kind of trying to decide, how do I get somebody to give to me? And it feels like we may have two masculines that are trying to sleuth out, you know, what gear do I put myself in to perhaps get this feminine to either understand what I'm trying to say or hear me, or how do I take charge? What do you think? It's like somebody's asking another person for their advice. How do you think I could get her? Because she seems really smart and she'll see through most ploys, so I probably shouldn't try that with her. But how do you think I should proceed? It feels like two masculines are chit-chatting about how best for one of them to take the lead and communicate possibly to a divine feminine. Now, it could be a very sunny day, or there could be a moment of glorious sunlight the next time they see her, or on this day. She personally could like long flowing robes, clothing. This is very much a kimono. That could be a dressing gown or robe of sorts, though, or it could just be perhaps she lives or works in an industry that it almost feels like we'll say the uniform could signify that she does something like the role of mentor or teacher. I'm almost thinking of like guru or something along those lines. And they may be saying she's not super easy to put one past. And I'm not saying that he's trying to figure out how to lie to her, but rather, what is the best way to communicate to somebody, like in a way that will speak her language, speak her communication language. Now, if this is about like, I have this business pitch that I want to make to her, I wonder if we could, you know, blend our business energies. Let me think, what would be the best pitch for somebody like her? This could all be about business, but it's definitely that we have a masculine who is trying to come up with the best way for him to communicate his plans. Now, other signs and symbols, he could wear like some kind of interesting clothing, like a vest or jacket or something like that, that has, you know, like emblems on it, or something that's, he's got a certain swag to him for sure. Motorcycle helmet or something along those lines as well could be, or maybe he's in a position of power or authority. He could be an Aries, by the way, but he could be in the position of authority where maybe he wears a hat or something that goes along with his career, and that denotes his position of authority, you know, like like say in the military, you know, having certain insignia or something like that, or a green beret, or I don't know that I think he's got anything to do though with something like that, like militarized. To me, he just comes across as somebody who wants to present himself well to her, and he's asking for advice on how best do you think I could approach her? What would be the best route? Arithmetic. It's funny because to be friendly is definitely step one. He's done the math and he said, I need to be intelligent in the way I communicate to her, but also friendly. For her to see me though, I'm gonna have to do or say something first. Like my opening line is a little calculated because I want her to see me, notice me, pay attention to me, want to hear what else I have to say. Now, again, this could be something to do with like money, business. I mean, we are so far do not have anything other than, money, business, and, the planning on how do I communicate to her. We don't see it as love yet. If it's even going to end up being that way, I don't know. We have got the logic and we've got the Three of Wands. So they definitely, whomever he is, the gentleman who wants to lead. And by the way, somebody could wear gloves or something as well. But somebody could have blue-green eyes, like literally their eyes change from blue to green. He wants to look in her eyes. I don't know what that is, but he wants to look into her eyes, and he thinks that by looking into her eyes, if she looks back at him, she'll be able to see that he's being very serious. But I think he's a little bit mesmerized with her eyes. But with the logic card here and the Three of Wands, Three of Fire, Three of Wands, same thing. He's trying to, like, this proposition that he has is he'd like to logically lay out, or maybe he thinks too logically actually, but he'd like to lay out a plan for the future that is like, let's build a castle together. I would like you, hell, this could be, will you move in with me? But he's coming about it in such a logical way, but he thinks she's super high intellectual, but there's also this element to her of, her wearing the kimono, and it's so floral. It's like she's got both halves to her. She's got the artistic side or the spiritual side, but then she's also got like a sharp intellect or wit. Well, he has that as well, but he's approaching it from like purely, leadership, arithmetic, logic, building blocks. He's approaching everything. If this is somebody he's attracted to, he is taking all the attraction out and just bringing this dialogue to her. Or maybe this is while he's talking to his friend here. He's talking about it in just the very like non-romantic context. But then we've got the wild unknown, and it's in the reverse. It feels like he's trying to make sure that there is no unknown. He wants to get this so squared away in his brain that the way I'm going to say it, let me rehearse it. Let me make it almost clinical. But what is it with the eye on the arithmetic? I'm sorry, but I still can't figure out what he wants from her. All I know is that he's, white stag. We go back into a spiritual desire. And also he's been like, in a non-creepy way, he's been like hunting her. And I say that because this is a temple of Artemis. He has been seeking her for a while. Now we go back to the idea that there's like a spiritualism or maybe a guru type vibe to her. I hate the word guru. I'm sorry to use it, but I don't know how else to explain. I can't think of a better word right now. So, but when it comes to her, there's something quite pure. But he's been looking for somebody like her, or looking for her, wanting to, get a chance to either look into her eyes, connect with her, or do business with her. But I feel like he's been looking for somebody like her for a long time. Why is he trying to break this down into just purely clinical, logical, reasonable energies? We have poetry and we have enslavement. Oh my. So poor fella, he's trying to get the poetry out of his head when it comes to her, because he feels like he's already been a little too hooked on her, and he's trying to say, okay, if I'm going to reach out to her, I have got to make this more clinical. I can't come across as this poet. No way. He may actually have a source of pride in typically being able to be more like floral and poetic with his words, but with her, it's like he gets tongue-tied. Something about her has him rattled. And so he's trying to approach how he feels about her by taking it into this very clinical viewpoint instead, because it's either he's afraid he'll be way too romantic and floral because he's been all tongue-tied over her already, or he's unable to be as poetic as he normally would be because he's kind of, I don't know that he's used to being thrown off by someone, right? He's used to being this leader, but there's something about her that is changing everything for him. Tell me about the wild unknown being in the reverse. I get it. He doesn't want to be thrown off guard by her. We have the Sun and we have the Courier of Air sideways. By the way, I'm sorry, I didn't even mention this, but other signs and symbols could definitely be somebody's got quite a lovely little ferny house plant here, or even a bonsai. They may have, sorry, I'm covering her up just because we've got this unique plant stand holder that is like a shape of a voluptuous woman. Somebody could have some interesting like end table. Obviously there's a human foot there. We have kind of also the face of a marionette or a puppet. And of course the peacock feather. So we have elements of pride. Also somebody could have this feels like a really cool like patio or something, but somebody's got an eclectic art collection, art deco, modern vibe, but definitely something here about their poetic nature has been impacted heavily. I always think of this card, by the way, as like Legos, or somebody who's putting the building blocks together like children's blocks or something. But to go back to the wild unknown in the reverse, the fact that they don't want any variables here. They want to be very direct, and it's almost like they assume this almost feels like it's going to be a hit and run like kind of conversation. They've been psyching themselves up for this. They want to talk to her. They've been waiting for this moment. They're going to go ahead and do it. But the way they do it, they don't want there to be any variables. So I almost think that they want to talk at her real quickly and then dip out, so that it's like, I want to drop off my words, be really clear, and then I want to run away. Run away and then wait to see when she writes me back. Let her think about what she wants to say, and then I'm going to be super remote. So I'm going to drive by, drop off my words, and run away. There could be somebody driving by making quite a bit of noise as they're driving swiftly. That could be another sign or symbol. Some kind of a house or, apartment or someplace that's like remote or high up on a hill away from the other houses. And bubbles, of course, bubbles could be an imagery here as well. But we've got this decision, like they are very logically figuring out how to not feel foolish, and that is, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to like come in, drop off my words, drop off my message, and then get out and not let her respond. She can respond to me later, but I'll already be like escaped after I drop off the message. So is this going to be like somebody dropping a message in someone's DMs or something, let me just come in and drop it and then disappear for a couple days, and I won't even check my messages for a few days. It feels a little like that, the hit and run. And they are very, very clinically, logically planning on doing this, because then they will have, I think that this person is flustered almost already. Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing in response. I need time to reflect. So I want to buy myself time if I'm going to reach out to her. Okay, so what is your motive for reaching out to her in the first place? Is this love? Is this business? Is this what? Capricorn is in the reverse, which tells me not a whole heck of a lot, other than the story of Capricorn in mythology is that originally this was Pan, and Pan, in his frenzy to escape the sea monster that was chasing him, intending to harm him, he half transformed himself into a fish to escape. But he was so panicked that he didn't do a very good job of transforming himself. However, being as witty as Pan is, he did think fast enough to blow a really sharp note on his pan flute, which bothered the monster's ears, and so the monster took off. And unbeknownst to Pan, during this escapade, the monster had also wounded Zeus. And so essentially by playing that high note, it made the monster leave Zeus alone as well. And so Zeus was so grateful that he put Capricorn up in the night sky to thank him. However, he put him up there as that half-transformed version of himself, and that's how we end up with Capricorn. So the only reason I say all that is because this is in the reverse, meaning there's like either a transformation or something that I said, why does he want to talk to her at all? And we have this idea of like, I don't want anything to be halfway, or I don't know how this is going to go, and I don't want to like be left in confusion. I want to talk to her, but I also don't want to panic, kind of energy. So, there can't be too many variables, when I'm already feeling like a little bit overwhelmed. By the way, goats and fishes, scaled creatures, those things could be also symbols for the day. Two of fire at an angle. So two of wands. There's this element where, again, what does he really want to talk to her for or talk to her about? And it's like, well, I just don't want there to be any panic on my part, but he's trying to figure out, is there a potential here with her, right? Is there something here that could happen, or does, is she part of his destination, or is it something else in the world that he's supposed to look toward? And he's at a bit of a crossroads. So interestingly enough, he's trying to get a chance to open up dialogue with her. And I do think it's to get her to give to him, if that's possible. But if it's not, then, just shut me down so that at least I'll know. That's the way this comes across. This is somebody who's nervous to hear what her response is going to be, because he's already like kind of holding his breath about this. So do you care about her, love her, want her? Is this romance on your part? Seven of Earth and Librarian. Seven of Pentacles says he's been kind of in a desolate realm for a while, and things have been taking quite a while, but so too have his ideas about her. There's something, I don't know if he can put his finger on what she is to him, other than she's supposed to be part of his life story, is what he's come to believe. Because other people have not stayed either on his mind for so long, or other people have not, somehow been something that remains. This is passage of time, and he's gone through some desolate times for sure, but she's somehow been either like important in the book of his life, or telling the story of his life, or something about, like, this could be about the Akashic records as well. Now, somebody could be a librarian, or they go to the library, or they really like books, or they're a writer. We have a Civil War era also, to me anyway, it looks like that. And so we could have him like having felt like he's been on multiple battlefields, and it's become pretty bleak, but the thing that's become more important to him is actually like the life story that he feels has something to do with him and her. So if this is about Akashic records, this could be he is in that understanding. So let me preface this by saying the Akashic records, to my limited knowledge, is everything a person can do, will do, or has done. It's already been recorded in a bunch of books that are held in the cosmic library. And that is the Akashic records. And all we must do if we want to change our timeline, if we want to do something different, we could just energetically pick out a different book and open it up for ourselves, and we could start living that timeline instead. And this comes across like, for some reason, she is either the key to that for him, and he's realized it, because there's been a long stretch of a whole lot of nothing that has caught his eye, caught his fancy, but then there's her. And over time, especially, he keeps thinking about her. She represents the timeline that I think he wants to be on. He's at a crossroads of not knowing what timeline he's really supposed to be on, but he thinks it's supposed to be with her. She's, again, there's that spiritual vibe to this, and that premonition that she's somehow my destiny. She could have red hair, by the way. She could have a fairly demure look to her, or there's something where he pictures her like how she'll look many, many years down the road even. There could be like a past life memory from like perhaps a Victorian era, or, as I said, like Civil War or something like that. This looks more like the 20s, though, 1920s. But it could be, I'm just judging by different clothing. We have Duchess sideways. There's this element for him where he doesn't want to admit it, but I think he already feels like he's supposed to be married to her, or that he was in a past life, and it's like, he's trying to be so clinical about it and not romantic about it, but I think what we're dancing around here is he already feels like this is his person. but for him, it might be a lot of weird deja vu moments. You know, she's in green twice. He may have weird flashes where he thinks a lot about her, even the blue-green eyes. There's something here. By the way, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. But there could be something here where he's like, I don't even want to admit it, but I feel like a deja vu, like she's been my wife before, she's supposed to be my wife again. And I don't want to say that because it sounds crazy, you know, so I want to just be logical about this and just kind of like reach out and drop off a message to her, but then make it more clinical, make it not about romance. I don't want there to be, he's panicking. He's definitely already panicking and trying really hard not to. So him dropping some message in out of the blue is going to possibly be his best overture at trying to pursue something with her, even though he's not being upfront about what he really thinks about all this. Let's get one more just for her reaction on whatever this message may be. The Knight and the Three of Cups. So she takes it exactly as this is an emotional motive that he has, trying to start dialogue with me, trying to come toward me. The Knight is our action taker, and she already understands he's taking action toward me because whether or not he's able to admit it, he's just come clean that he has emotion for me. She just takes it in stride. She's like, yeah, I get it. I get it. He wants to come toward me. This is about emotion. This is about interest. This is about romance. Certainly it's about emotion, and this is him coming clean that he's interested. Earth. This is setting everything in motion. In her mind, it's like, let the games begin. Not games, but this has finally been set in motion. And I don't even know why I'm saying finally, because we never saw her side of this. This was all him trying to figure out, what do I do? How do I start this with her? And then I don't know if this friend is giving him good advice or bad advice, but we see him taking charge, but a little too clinically, but it doesn't matter because she still hears the emotion in whatever it is he's going to say. She understands what this means, even if he's trying to squash some of it and not admit, like, I have these weird deja vu moments and it feels like you're supposed to be with me, and it feels, you know, he's maybe not saying all that, but she's like, I already know this is his attempt at coming clean about his emotions, and it's sufficient to get everything moving in the right direction for us. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I put one of these out every day at 5 a.m. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Just know I also do all of the zodiacs, typically doing 2 for every zodiac each week. So you can find those under the playlist for each zodiac, or you can go to the live tab. Most of those I live stream. So this is the only video that I upload as a video. So this one you'll find under the video tab. Everything else on my channel, and there's a lot, you will find under the live tab. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys visiting. Bye.